So as you know, on Foodable Weekly covers some of the most innovative topics all around the restaurant and food industry. And we're really looking at how food overall is being affected. And we're also seeing seed and investment capital coming from all over the world here into the United States to kind of support these efforts, both from restaurant startups to things like FOOD-X. And what's really nice is that we're seeing great entrepreneurs. So we've got Shen Tong on the show with us today. He's already akin to movement and social change and a great entrepreneur to kind of start the process of how food movement is occurring here in the U.S. Shen Tong, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, Paul.
Kind of give us a breakdown of what FOOD-X is.
Well, FOOD-X launches food-related innovation from our Lower Manhattan center. We focus on food and beverages, agriculture, and personal wellness, and a little bit clean and green tech.
We know with most accelerators, many cases, these are really designed to help companies with mentorship and kind of this group learning process. Is that pretty much the core focus of what FOOD-X is designed to do for these early stage startups?
Well, that's part of it. We have about 200 formal mentors. We schedule about a third of them informal sessions, clusters. Cluster means that, for example, the current cohort have three theme focus. Is consumer packaged goods, agriculture tech, ag tech, and app or what's generally SaaS, software as a service.
What are some of the criteria that you guys look for in selecting the companies that make it in?
We look for maximum risk, meaning that we really look for the blue ocean ideas, but we're looking for specifically approaches that work with nature, leverage possibly the most resilient, complex, and highly efficient system known to man, known to humankind, that is nature, and also second to that, culture, meaning that particularly culinary traditions, and this extends to agriculture and other food-related areas.
So when you look at trends moving forward, what are you seeing from the accelerator side? Obviously, you guys get kind of a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, of all these innovators that are happening in that area. Is there anything specific that you feel like we are close to achieving in terms of a new trend in food production, food supply, origination, any of those areas that would affect the restaurant and just in general, food consumption overall?
So it seems like the DIY kit as a trend becoming a genuine trend, not a fad. So the earlier and more successful examples a lot of people heard about, such as Blue Apron. In this country, maybe plated internationally as HelloFresh, yeah. And not only financially, they got to astronomical numbers of valuation. I think they're $2 and $3 billion respectively. This really tap into the cultural trend of not just millennials, but millennials particularly. That we're looking at roughly 2/3 of a millennial wants to cook multiple times, maybe 4 or 5 times a week, and people care about not only the sourcing of the food, but also touching the food. And I think there's a deep psyche there that in today's world, everything is so smart, therefore means they're so complex, there's no way to break it down. And we have this food connection to ourselves, to nature, and to each other. But also the sourcing, of course, that trend will definitely stay, I think. So it's really a big behavioral change. Instead of getting whatever we want as close as we can from the source through through the grocery shopping. Now we're cooking what kind of basically nature and the season and what's around us are providing. So it's interesting. My family is a customer, actually, a loyal customer for over a year, and it's interesting to see this kind of behavior change. But we're heavily betting on that. But there's also a lot of smart apps that's on the other end of the portfolio. And then there's another dimension of alternative food, new types of food. So there's a general area of food science reinvented, basically. Mm-hmm. So this is, think of food science in terms of last few decades of achieving amazing scientific neuroscience and technological heights, but then kind of modify that with almost a Chinese medicine approach. So in other words, the engineering and science are now centered to the final product.
Absolutely. Well, Shen, thank you so much for stopping in today. We really appreciate the breakdown of FOOD-X. I love what you guys are doing up there. I definitely like a whole idea of innovation and a complete shift in really kind of theory of how food and consumption will take place in the future. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, well, please come visit. Love to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for watching another episode of On Foodable Weekly. And of course, as you guys know, we're always looking for great ideas. Of course, you can tweet us on Twitter just by going to @Foodable. If you've got an idea you want to send it to us by email, just send it to producer@foodabletv.com. Also, we have some really cool shows that are recently released. Of course, Beer Artisan, what I think is one of our best pieces yet. And also, Food is a Lifestyle. We just kicked off our season 2 with chefs from around the world, and I think you're going to love this episode as well. It is a really great one as we continue to ramp up our production and also our storytelling right here on Foodable. So make sure and catch us next week on Foodable Weekly.